Hey there, it's Tony here, and welcome to the Dumb Leaders Podcast. This is our annual Christmas party review. What's happened during the year from dumb leaders at Christmas parties. And we did this last year, and we had a great lot of feedback from it. It's one of our most listened to podcasts. So why not? It's Christmas Day. I hope this podcast will be coming out on Christmas Day. I hope that you're having a wonderful time with friends and family. I hope you get a chance to listen to it on Christmas Day. If not, holiday season. A little bit of humour, I guess. A little bit of some learnings in some of the things that we're going to be sharing. But yeah, dumb leaders at Christmas parties. Don't you worry about that. And one of the things that we found interesting, there was a study done in the UK this year. And I'll have the source in the notes. But they say that 1 in 10 people get fired or disciplined at Christmas parties. So 1 in 10, 10%. So it's happened that nearly 1 in 10 Brits get fired or disciplined. Most people going to their Christmas party this year say they still will get drunk. So even though they know these stats, and they've seen it firsthand that, people get fired or disciplined at Christmas parties, there is still a very large percentage still saying that they're going to get drunk. And as we know, when we get drunk, our inhibition's lower. The skill set that we have to keep ourselves rational tends to go out the window. But it's a very worrying sign that we see the impacts of Christmas party mayhem, I guess, and we're still not too worried about going out there and having more than enough. 9 in 10 people, 89%, admitted to getting drunk at a work party. Okay? Now, 89%. Unsurprisingly, 2/3 of workers, 65%, said they had drunk too much. And most of them said their behaviour was affected in a negative way. Fancy that. Doing anything embarrassing in front of your boss has to be everyone's worst nightmare, but nearly 45%, nearly half, said they'd made a fool of themselves at a Christmas party. So think about that. We know the impacts. We've had that history. We see it on other people. Yet we still go out and we get drunk. So the top 5 reasons for getting fired from a Christmas party: saying something inappropriate about or to a boss or colleague, 23%. Getting into a verbal, physical fight with a colleague or a boss, that'll do it every time, 21%. Got caught doing drugs, good stuff there, 16%. Got caught having sex with a colleague, 14%. And inappropriate behaviour, in brackets, nudity, lewd comments, 11%. So if you really want to go and get fired at a Christmas party, take one of those 5 reasons and let's make it happen. And if you're a dumb enough leader to do that, go for it. Possibly the best reason, and it just lies outside of the top 5, is throwing up on your boss. So this happened to 4% of workers who got the sack after a Christmas party, throwing up on their boss. And interestingly, the converse effect of this is that 1 in 10 workers said that they've left a job of their own accord following a Christmas party. Interesting. So they're not fired or disciplined. They've obviously either done something that was embarrassing to themselves, or that they've made that choice after seeing the behaviour of other people. But they've left. So, Christmas parties are the domain of the dumb leader. Okay. Couple of notes from Christmas, a couple of dumb leaders that I'm now going to share with you. A substitute teacher in New Jersey has been fired after telling her first grade students that Santa Claus is not real. So Cedar Hill Elementary School principal Michael Raj sent a letter home to parents letting them know that a teacher told their kids that Santa, elves, flying reindeer, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny are not real. So Raj said he spoke to the teacher about her poor judgment and wanted to make parents aware of the situation if the conversation comes home. So, dumb. Is it your right to tell first grade students that Santa Claus isn't real? I would very clearly, and the actions obviously from the school would indicate very clearly that that's a mistake that person has to learn from, because that was just dumb. Now, how to get your national brand into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. So rowdy Marks and Spencer staff swiped hotel booze at their Christmas bash after breaking into a staff zone. Now, CCTV captured shop workers bursting into the no-go area and making off with drinks at their festive night out. Now, culprits from the store in upmarket Milgavie sent a grovelling apology to the hotel. As shop's bosses last night probed the incident, a source said the Shindig near Glasgow Christmas parties are always raucous events, but this one went a step too far. They broke into an area which was sealed off and helped themselves to drink. Now, the thing is, they might have got away with it, but with the lights on, they were immediately caught out on CCTV. So revellers had already been served champers during a 3-course meal at this particular place, and it was billed as the perfect way to bring on the festive season and let your hair down. Well, they did that. They did that. So an apology and an offer for cash has been what Marks and Spencer have provided back to the establishment. So that was good. So, what about this one? The Law Society out of Newcastle. They've been given a warning from their president after their Christmas party ended with smashed glasses, members clicking their fingers and waving money at staff, and with others throwing up. The email and it was also posted on Facebook a week after the event. The party took place on the 6th of December. The president highlighted that on the night of the event, there was a small group of members who acted inappropriately and recklessly. So these guys were in the Law Society. And more than anyone else, should be aware of the behavioural standards that are required at a professional establishment. Yeah, it was noted that the members verbally abused some of the workers at the bar and were found to be mocking staff for where they studied, threatening to sue them, and waving money and clicking at them. Now, I know a couple of hospitality workers, and one of the biggest things that they hate is when someone clicks for them. The president also expressed disappointment at the vomiting around the bar area by certain members. There had been free drink provided at the event. And the president states, if this happens again to this degree, I will not be authorising the same amount of free alcohol. So isn't that crazy? They've had this amazingly poor behaviour based around free alcohol in some respects, and the president's still not inclined to say no, that's it. No, they've got a warning. If it happens again, we will not be shouting free beer, free wine, free alcohol. Hey, I like this one. Bar manager choked by colleague at Christmas party, and a bar manager who was left with anxiety, PTSD and partial facial paralysis after she was choked by a colleague at a staff Christmas party, was constructively unfairly dismissed, the magistrate court has found. So following a November hearing, the judge concluded that this 24-year-old, her resignation amounted to an unfair dismissal after bosses at her club failed to properly investigate her complaint. The 24-year-old told how one of the business's directors or co-directors had been heard laughing about the incident. So the incident, which was reported on CCTV, shows this co-director putting his arm around the bar manager's neck. After a few seconds, she tried to push him off, before going limp and falling to the ground. It was then that other members of staff suddenly realised something was wrong. So when she woke up the next day, she had no recollection of the incident and believed she'd suffered a stroke. She had slight facial palsy, which was caused, doctors said, by lack of oxygen or nerve damage. It was only after she returned to work to check CCTV footage from the night that she realised the incident had occurred. Now, the court found the director's response to the CCTV evidence was unsatisfactory. The tribunal heard that while Pierce had accepted the footage showed an assault, the company's co-director denied it showed the bar manager being strangled. So basically, headlock, strangled, loss of blood, loss of oxygen, and then they joked about it. So that's not funny, but it's incredibly dumb. It's incredibly dumb, and all the best wishes that I could possibly send out to the lady that was affected by that, because that's just wrong behaviour, people. Just dumb behaviour. This is one about one of the big companies here in Australia and worldwide. And the Fair Work Commission recently found a significant decision on an out-of-hours conduct in finding that this company, I won't mention our names, has been justified to dismiss an employee for throwing a full glass of beer over the heads of other employees at the work Christmas function. So in November 2017, this company held a Christmas party at a hotel for its warehousing operations staff. Now, this particular operator, who'd been employed by the company since 2013, had been drinking at home before the function and was becoming increasingly agitated at the hotel when he was refused service by the bar staff. Now, several leaders and managers attempted to calm this guy down as he was becoming boisterous. However, he subsequently threw a glass of beer in the direction of the security guards, which went over the heads of his colleagues and smashed against the wall. Reviewed on CCTV, interviews of witnesses, and he was obviously dismissed. And that was upheld. So, yeah, I would hate to be a manager trying to do the right thing and trying to keep someone under control and then having that full glass thrown over my head. So he may not have been a leader, but he was dumb, that particular person. But also the company needs to have, I would imagine, some set expectations that if this guy has showed up to a party, obviously under the effects of alcohol, what was the processes there? Because you knew it was just going to get worse. So whether it was vomiting or whether it was doing something incredibly inappropriate. I mean, this was incredibly provocative, what he did, but ultimately, were they able to pick up on that prior to the party starting? So that was just some of the amazing things that have happened at Christmas parties. The Dumb Leaders podcast loves talking about that sort of stuff because, you know, as you know, every good leader was at one stage a dumb leader. And if we don't learn from all this stuff that happens in the world around, you know, whether it's bad business decisions, whether it's just dumb leadership role models or whatever, there is so much out there that we can learn from. And it's our role to help you learn from lousy leaders everywhere. So whether it's at Christmas parties or whether it's in day-to-day operations, you are going to hear about it at the Dumb Leaders Handbook. So, hey, hope everyone is having an amazingly healthy and uplifting Christmas, spending some time refreshing themselves with the ones they love, the ones that are closest to them. And if you're missing someone, pick up the phone and have that conversation. From all of us here at the Dumb Leaders Handbook and the Dumb Leaders Podcast, you know, just thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. We'll be back in full swing in 2019. Continue on the journey. We've got so much to dissect. We've got so much to share. We've got so much value that we will be adding to you as our podcast and our handbook continues to grow. Check it out at dumbleaders.com. I'll see you in 2019.